On Legend here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our daily gaming XP grind episode 102. So let's get into an XP update really quick. So we've got 315,000 attack XP, level 44 ranged with 23,000 XP, woodcutting 1,001,000, construction 2,013,000, runecrafting 851,000, magic 122,000, mining 4,179,000. Artisan 4,117,000 and cooking 343,621 XP. So, behind the scenes, we've actually been doing quite a bit. We went to the Fractured Plains. I believe that's what it's called, right? Fractured Plains, yeah. And we got rid of a lot of the stuff that we built. Nothing that was too important. We got rid of a lot of walls, um, things like that. Things that we can get rid of that aren't really going to hurt anything. And the reason we did this is we're trying to basically make it so we can load in that area a little bit easier. And then also we went and cleaned out most of our chests except what we just added there. So the mess is already starting again. So we're going to be working on range today. And I don't think the Blurite ore has actually respawned. So I'm not going to go really hunt that right now. So we're just going to be killing sheep and ram. So that way we can get more levels in range. Um, After we get level in range, depending on how much time it takes to get this level, um, we're probably going to be actually um, doing a little bit of dirty water to clean water. There's so many things out here to pick up. It's sort of affecting my nerves right now. Obviously, I don't really want to go pick them all up. This has been happening because we've been working on range and we have basically been having an inventory full but don't really want to pick everything up and have to go bank. So we're sort of just leaving it all on the ground. Um, but obviously, at some point, we're going to have to pick all that up. And then, yeah, so we'll worry about that a little bit later. But for right now, we are going to go back. I just sort of would rather do this in the daytime. Obviously, there's a lot more creatures to deal with at night time that get to potentially create a problem for us. So I'm not seeing any sheep and ram. Normally, they're going to be in gigantic herds. Let's see if we can't find us some to kill. This is taking a little bit longer than I thought those were sheep and ram. It was actually just bushes blowing in a wind. So there's a little bit over here. This is why we added all these load stones, because basically there's a lot of sheep and ram that spawn this way. And we obviously wanted to be able to really maximize our time while doing this. To be able to... Oh, that little piece of meat just fell off the cliff. And it's gone forever. So... Or whatever it was. It might not even have been the meat. But finding lots of creatures right here to kill. I really do like the crossbow. I know I've talked about it in my episodes a little bit. About how I thought for sure I was going to stick with the bow. But for some reason I really like the crossbow. The aim is amazing. I think that's my big sell point for it really. It's just basically the bow's a lot harder to use. Maybe hard's the wrong word. I'm not entirely sure. But I just prefer the crossbow, which is very shocking to me, as I really wasn't a crossbow person in the other RuneScape. But then again, I guess I was. It depends on what I was fighting. If it was something you sort of click and stand behind a rock, then a crossbow actually might be something I would go for, depending on really what I was killing and what their weakness was and things like that. So obviously, there's so many more wolves. It seems out here. I used to spend so much time out here killing sheep and ram, and I really didn't run into a lot of wolves or dire wolves for that matter. And we just got smacked really hard. I was gonna try to kill this guy because he gives a lot of XP when you kill him, but I think he's the only one really doing any killing right now. So we're probably gonna die here, and I don't want to die. I'm tired of dying. But maybe we can make this work if we just sort of kite him around. Just gotta miss his attacks as they're really deadly. But we did a pretty nice job there. And we just got smacked by a wolf. It's crazy. Maybe he'll drop something interesting. And he did not drop anything interesting, but that's okay. We got quite a bit of XP from killing him. I think it's actually really therapeutic to sort of kill these sheep and ram with this crossbow. This was the thing I was most excited about when range was going to be coming to the game, is basically being able to run around and just sort of shoot animals and get XP. I think it makes it really fun. So I'm really excited that it's in the game. Ridiculous, this ram just got in the way. So, I mean, this is amazing. Don't want to really fight that shaman. I don't really have an anti-poison potion with me. I suppose I could just block his blasts. But he usually travels with another enemy, so you've got to be careful. And we missed our shot. We're going to block that blast, as we don't want to get poisoned. But range, I think, makes it so much easier to fight things in the game. It's just such a better way to fight. So that's actually really good. As obviously, you can take on more enemies at once as well, because you can sort of move while you fight, which you really couldn't do with magic, and you can sort of do it with melee, but it's a little bit different. Obviously, you've got to get closer to these enemies with melee combat, and then with magic, it's not quite the same. I'm sure you understand if you've played the game quite a bit, but I don't know. I feel like I can take on all my enemies now without really having to worry too much. I missed that shot, and I missed another one. There we go. So many sheep and ram out here right now, so our inventory is actually almost full, plus we're picking up other things that we potentially missed when we were killing creatures when our inventory was full. So we've already almost leveled up range, so it looks like there's going to be plenty of time to actually do some dirty water as well. But our carry weight is already full, so we're probably going to just keep killing and let everything fall on the ground and then pick it up at a later time. Obviously, we still want all these resources, even though we don't even necessarily need them. I just like to collect stuff and have a ridiculous amount of things at my base. But you can see we're just demolishing. I'm so grateful for range. Really just the crossbow. Not even the real bow anymore. Like I stated before, I'm really shocked at how much I like range. But we are just annihilating these sheep. This just makes everything so much easier. I like how you can block and still shoot. That's really cool. I didn't even realize that actually till just now. That is epic right there. Obviously, I didn't really need to do it for all those shots, but I just did it for the fact that it's actually kind of fun. Let's see if we can get that sheep. Terrible shot. We're missing every time. Let's see if we can't get him. It's too late, I think. No, we're not going to be able to get him. That's okay. So, there we go. Leveled up range. Very nice. Level 45. And then we're not going to fight them. There's two of them. So let's go back to our base. We unlocked Firestarter. I wasn't really paying attention as to what it did. Let's go and take a look. Firestarter. Oop. So I actually don't see it here. That's right. So if we just move over here. I actually really don't mess around with this too much. We're going to have to go back and look actually what it does, because I really don't know. Went in the wrong way. Range, Firestarter. Let's take a look what it does. Unlocks the fire and oil arrows, giving you new ways to burn your enemies. That's actually quite nice. So how am I going to get that on here? I didn't really see it. Let's see. There's got to be a way to sort of unlock that. Let's just put this over here. So I don't really see it. Maybe it's just a recipe. Maybe it's not actually like a spell. Let's see. Those are just the barbed arrows. What's this right here? I don't think I've ever noticed this before. Fire oil. So now I need to get this Nepitha. So I've got no idea how to get that, and we're gonna have to figure it out. Which is another interesting thing that I didn't even realize, basically, that was going to be a thing. I'm not sure if you sort of pick that up oil. Not really sure. Let's see. I have not got the slightest idea. So that's just another mystery, I suppose, of how we're gonna figure out how to get that. But we'll do our best, even though we've literally got not even the slightest clue how to get it. So let's put all this stuff away, and I guess we'll put our bolts away as well, and then pull out a little bit of dirty water so we can start working on cooking a little bit. And actually, I want to take a cooking potion. It looks like we're going to have to make more cooking potions as well. But ultimately, I'm glad we got a level in range. Trying to do at least one an episode, and then we'll be 50 in no time. But that's crazy. So now I've got to find out what that new item is, or at least how to get it, and then we can get some. It's probably going to be a little bit tricky to get. I'm trying to think of a place in the game where I can actually get a material that could be used to do it. So potentially in the furnace, actually, it might be, or sorry, the kiln, it might be actually made with clay. And if that's the case, clay is really easy to get. These are just sort of my thoughts going inside my brain, trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to need to do to obtain it. It's a little bit tricky sometimes. The game doesn't necessarily just show you what you need. You sort of got to figure it out, which isn't necessarily a horrible thing. I think it adds a little bit of adventure to the game and sort of gives us the opportunity to have to explore the game a little bit more and really revisit areas that we once sort of were done with. I only did a little bit in that one just because they leave themselves with a one stack, which is quite irritating, to be quite honest. I don't particularly like that. Let's see. We're not going to get an insane amount of XP from doing this, but we already gathered all the water, and it is giving us cooking XP, so we might as well get it. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so that's all done, and now we can put this away and sort of look at the kiln or potentially this really quick. Let's pop that out. I don't see anything that would be able to be put in there. I believe it's going to be in here. Let's take a look. Maybe swamp tar. Let's just try that. Tar oil makes sense. Let's take a look. No, that is not it. So let's take a look what all the water cleans itself. Potentially it is one of these here. Obviously these are the same ones that we've had before. I pretty much have all the things, I suppose, that would really do something like that. What are these? They changed the graphic on that a little bit. So right now, still got absolutely no idea. Let's see. Interesting. It's a liquid. So potentially we make it at a brewing station. Let's take a look. Obviously there's something else cooking in here right now. And so we're going to have to wait. It might be a one item thing. It might be a two item thing. Really got no idea. Obviously we can go check a fire that is not being used. Let's take a look. Do I see anything in here that sort of really stands out? I don't see any question marks, which basically means I don't think it's actually even going to be something that's made with a single fire. It's probably going to require two items, which sort of makes sense as they don't want us to just have a ton of it. It's supposed to be something that is probably a little bit rarer. So let's see. We can try the double station. No question marks, but let's just sort of see if we see anything that stands out. And I don't. Obviously you're going to have to put that first ingredient in there. Let's see. I really don't see anything in there that really stands out to make that. So we're going to have to examine a little bit more. But it could be the other cooking station that I don't think I actually have any of. Let's take a look. Or another thing we can do is look at the journal, recipes, and potentially look through here. That's just poison, armor, quorum. I don't really see anything in here that sort of stands out. Not really. What was that? Okay. Fire oil. Let's see what it says. Interesting. So it looks like it talks about how her wagon hit a pothole, and that's different though. Interesting. Like snake oil. So do I go to a merchant that they sort of added in the game? I'm not sure. So still really no clue on how I'm going to get that. And I'm losing a little bit of cooking XP because my potions wore off. But clearly, we've got no idea how to get this. And I can't really think of anything except that other cooking station that I don't have. So we're going to have to do a little bit more research on this so we can figure it out. Let's put this in here. We're obviously going to need a little bit of food. It looks like we accidentally put it all away. So, quite irritated really on how I'm going to get this oil. I can't really think of anything. That's right, my other station, my cooking station. There's one more we don't have, I think. It is... We've got the cauldron, that's not even a cooking station. Let's see, the pottery wheel, potentially. And I've got one of those in here, don't I? I don't have a pottery wheel. So we can make one of those, potentially. It might be made there. And then we've also got a cooking range. That's a lot of materials, but I think I can remember all of them. Quite a bit of stuff. So there was stone, there was planks, there was clay, I believe. And then there was, let's see, bronze bars. So I almost remembered everything, just forgot the bars. So we're going to make one of these really quick, just to sort of see if this is potentially where you make it. And I don't have one, so it'd be kind of nice to have one. Let's take a look at what's going on. It requires better roof coverage, so we're going to have to destroy that and sort of put that under here. There's already so much stuff under here, so I guess we'll put it right here. Nope, it needs roof coverage. So let's see, maybe we could take out a couple of these. We really don't need all these. We'll just sort of place it right in a way. It doesn't really matter. So that's really not what it's going to be. So let's take a look at else what we can build. A pottery wheel. We just need some coarse thread. That kind of makes sense, I guess. Not really. But let's take a look. And I know we're not really getting XP right now. I guess we technically are. We're getting a little bit of XP in different things. So let's just put it right here, completely in the way. Needs better roof coverage. So I guess we'll put it right here. That might do better. Okay. So no, not here. Another thing is, well, we already got the recipe, I suppose. I look through here. I don't really see anything that stood out that potentially could help us make it. Let's check over here again. Maybe I sort of missed it. No, I don't see anything. Really tricky. Let's see. A flammable liquid. I've got no idea. Let's go ahead and pick up all this stuff. If you're wondering how all this got out here, well, basically, I started shooting things while I was waiting on the roof. Um, yeah, and I got bored, so I just started shooting things. But we're gonna have to figure out exactly what we need to do to figure it out. I've got no idea, but this is all just sort of disorganizing everything that we just got organized. So, no ideas. We're going to be figuring it out. Let's go ahead and just do an XP update really quick of what we did work on, which is really just range 24,683 XP. I think we built some things 2,013,000, and then we worked on cooking 345,759 XP. So I see quite a bit of a jump in cooking. It's not crazy, but gonna have to figure out how to basically make the fire arrows. So anyway, guys, we hope you guys are enjoying our content. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the new update with range and all these really cool things that are tricky to figure out. And until next time, Legion Luda out.